paint. In this video, I'm going to be painting the lower half of my dashboard red to match the seats. Now in the last video, I showed step by step how to get the dashboard out of the car, so I'll link that one down below in case you missed it. But this is a project that I've been thinking about for a while now. I've been checking the price of coral red dashboards from eBay, and even though they are starting to come down, it was still just a little bit more than I wanted to spend just to change the color of something. But one thing that I noticed in the eBay pictures is that the coral red dashboards, they're just sprayed red from the factory, so that had me down this rabbit hole of paints and dyes, and I ended up landing on this company called Colorbond, and they make interior paint in OEM colors. So when you go on their website, you can select your color, and then they offer different bundles based on the type of material you're painting. I bought their plastic bundle for my dashboard, which included 1 can of BMW Coral Red paint, a can of Adhesion promoter, a can of UV resistant Clearcoat, and a bottle of concentrated cleaner. I bought an extra can of paint just to be safe, and well, more on that later in the video. There's a few other supplies that you'll need that will be mentioned throughout the video and linked down in the description. I decided to set up shop in my basement next to my egress window for ventilation. First, we need to prep the dashboard. Colorbond recommends scuffing paste and gray scuff pads. I had never heard of scuffing paste, but was able to find it on Amazon. It's essentially 800 grit sandpaper in liquid form. The idea here is to be able to scuff up the surface while preserving that faux leather texture on the dashboard. The paste, combined with the flexible cloth-like scuff pads, is able to get deep into that grain unlike regular sandpaper. Another benefit of the paste is I could visually see what areas were done and which ones still needed my attention. Next, I'm just using plain water to rinse the paste off. As the water dissolves the paste, you can actually see the grit wash away. While this might seem like a lot of tedious work, any good painter will tell you that it's all in the prep. The quality of the end result is a direct reflection of the prep that we're doing here. Alright, so the next step is going to be cleaning the dash with their prep cleaner. Now note that the little bottle that comes in the kit is concentrate, so you're going to mix 1 ounce of that with 32 ounces of water. You can see I've got my bottle labeled there, so let's do it. Alright, so the last stage of the prep is to just clean the whole thing once again with alcohol. I'm assuming this is to get any remnants of the cleaner off. And just a small note that I'm using a different rag for each one of these, that way I'm not cross-contaminating different chemicals. So yeah, the last step is the alcohol, and then we can start masking this thing off. I went over the dash with a hairdryer to make sure that all the crevices were completely dry. I used blue tape to mask the top of the dash and then wrapped the rest of it with a clear plastic tarp. Alright, so with the prep and the masking complete, the next step is going to be adhesion promoter. Now, automotive plastics are notoriously difficult to paint, but this stuff is supposed to help the paint stick better and prevent cracking and peeling, so we'll see how that works out. Then as far as safety, I've got a mask, I've got my egress window open with a box fan pointing out to evacuate the fumes, so let's do it. For the adhesion promoter, Colorbond recommends a few light coats sprayed at a distance of 8 to 10 inches. The can says several light coats are better than one heavy one. Finally, the dash is ready for a color change. The can must be shaken for 2 minutes prior to painting. They recommend spraying a few mist coats within 10 minutes of each other. The can says to avoid heavy coats as it can result in patchy color and runs. With each coat, I'm getting slightly heavier but not trying to force a color change. It says 2 to 3 coats, but coverage could vary depending on the color. Alright, so I'm really happy that I ordered a second can because this one just ran out and the dash isn't even fully covered yet, and I still have the glove box and some other parts that I'm going to do off camera, but let's keep going on this and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so I let this dry overnight, and then this morning I took it out on the driveway so I could inspect it in the sunlight, and I gotta say I'm really impressed with how good this came out. Actually exceeded my expectations. One thing that I will say about this that would have helped tremendously would have been having better lighting. So this like YouTube video light just wasn't cutting it. There's certain areas of the dashboard where I kept going over it and over it and over it, and it's like, why is the paint not covering? And then when I had a chance to see it outside in the sunlight, I saw that there are actually some divots in the surface material that are hard to see. And the way that the light was hitting it was casting a shadow. So it's not that the paint wasn't covering it, it was that my eyes were playing tricks on me. So long story short, I did more coats than I probably needed, which, really no harm there. Except that now I've only got about 1/3 of a can left, and I still have more painting to do. But right now I'm gonna clear coat this. I'm gonna get this squared away, and then I'm gonna do the glove box and the other stuff off camera. I think you guys get the idea with how this works now. So let's go ahead and clear coat this and wrap this up. I should mention that this clear coat is UV resistant and should help preserve the red color while adding an extra layer of durability. Alright, so 2 coats of the flat clear. Now even though this was the flat finish, I feel like it still added a little bit of a sheen, but it did make the color pop more, and that combined with the sort of satin finish, I guess I would call it, I feel like this is actually closer to what the leather seats look like. So I'm just excited to have this done. I'm going to go finish up the other stuff off camera, and we will cut to putting this in the car and seeing how well it matches. I nearly pooped my pants when I saw overspray all over the top of the dash, but luckily it was just dust that wiped off. Dude, we are out of paint. Well, my nightmare scenario came true, and I didn't have enough paint to finish the glove box or the footwell covers, and I had to order a 3rd can. In the meantime, I could start getting the dash back in the car. There was nothing noteworthy about the reinstallation. In fact, it actually went in easier than it came out. But one thing to pay attention to is that some of the wiring harnesses are only just long enough as it is, and if you don't route them correctly through the dash, they simply won't reach. But with the dash back in, at least my car would be drivable until the rest of the paint came. To be honest with you, the end result came out even better than I expected. I was joking with my friends that I had a red dashboard in my eBay cart just in case this came out looking like crap, but I even surprised myself with the end product. Alright, so what did this all cost? The main interior bundle that included the paint, adhesion promoter, clear coat, and cleaner was $71.80. I bought 2 additional cans of paint at $23.35 a piece. Now I already had most of the supplies to do this project, but as far as things that I did have to buy, the scuffing paste, $22, the gray scuff pads, $7.40, and about $5 for the plastic tarp. So all in, I'm at around $130 for this project. And even though it was a lot of effort, it was still a huge savings over buying a used red dashboard, let alone a brand new one. One thing I want to mention is that I had a hard time getting the red paint to cover, and now I know I said earlier in the video it's partially my own fault for not having good enough lighting and doing like 1 or 2 coats more than it really needed, but even setting that aside, it took a lot of paint to get from black to red. So in Colorbond's demo video, they're spraying beige over black, and you can see it just covering with ease, and they said it only took 2 coats to do theirs. Well, with mine after 2 coats, it was barely changing the color, and it wasn't really till the 5th coat that I had full saturation on the entire dashboard. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a professional car painter, and he was saying that red is a notoriously difficult color to work with in terms of coverage, and that in hindsight it actually might have been better to paint the dashboard white first rather than trying to go right from black to red. So I don't think that the coverage thing was necessarily a color bond issue, but more so just the nature of red paint. But that being said, if you are going to do coral red or any other of their shades of red, I would recommend getting more paint than you think you're going to need. Better to have some left over when you're done than to run out halfway through like I did. If you have any questions about the process, or if you have any painting tips that you would like to give, feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, all the supplies, everything that you saw in the video will be linked down in the description.